Welcome back. You're going to ask, and I'm going to tell. Question number 1. Do I have new glasses? Yes. Just got a new prescription and my vision only got a little bit worse. Question number 2. Is my microphone actually just a fuel sump tool thing? Yes. Yes, it is. Here's your reminder to stop running out of gas on your flights. Check the gas visually. Check for water and contaminants in your tank. Make sure your gauges are working appropriately. And don't fly to the edge of your endurance all the time. If you want to max range your airplane, that's fine. There's a way to do that safely. But fill the tanks up, leave some baggage behind, and be safe in these old small airplanes. I wanted to come on here and give you an update about where things are because I haven't been able to do a flying video lately or a making stuff video lately. There's a lot of reasons for that. Flying-wise, I've just decided to spend a little bit more time working in the sim on my instrument rating. Why? It's more affordable and I have better access to a CFII in a basic aviation training device, a BATD, where I can actually log time towards my instrument rating. So we're gonna go do a whole bunch of flying this week. It's unfortunately on my job site, so it's here in Savannah where I work, and I don't have permission to film in that particular building or in that room. I'll take some pictures and ask marketing if I can, or ask the photo people at work if I can release those. But we're gonna go do some training in the labs, and in the meantime, we're doing minor things on the airplane, checking the lap job, the valve lapping job that we did on cylinders 5 and 4 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Yeah, cylinders 4 and 5. I'm happy to report that after we did that valve lapping job on this airplane, which is a very low cost, low stress job, the compressions on one of the cylinders went from the 30s, which was already surprising, to mid 70s, so almost perfect. So that valve lapping job actually helped in the short term. I just need to fly the airplane for about 10 hours. I'm at the 7-ish hour mark now since we did that. And I'm going to go back and borescope the exhaust valve to ensure that it looks like it's cleaning up or doesn't look like it has more heat stress. Then do compressions again to ensure that that 70 something is pretty consistent. So I'm looking for, high mid 60s to mid 70s, somewhere in between there would be really nice on the cylinder that was at 1.30 something. I don't know if I've been able to show this, but in one of the pictures, when we were taking a picture of the seat of the valve, there was some buildup, some schmutz. Just, I don't even know what that word means. I can't believe I just used that, but there was some stuff on the seat of the valve, and it was very easily and readily removed by just doing a quick grinding campaign. And it was a very intense job on the airplane, but really not super difficult. It's not something that an owner pilot can do. You need an A&P to be there and at least supervise you to do the job. But when you're in there, it's really not that difficult. The hardest part of the job, I think, is ensuring that that valve grinding compound doesn't make it into the cylinders. Anyways, you don't need to be bored by those details. Just know that we lapped 2 valves and both of them, the compressions came up. What other cool things are happening? I dropped the video about Sun and Fun. I'm planning to go to Sun and Fun. A lot of you don't know this, or maybe you do by now. You could put the stuff together. But I work at an aircraft company, a place that manufactures, tests, builds, sells, repairs airplanes. I'm here in Savannah, Georgia. And it's not just straightforward for me to get out of the office and leave my team when they're doing safety critical work. I can't always just get up and disappear. So I'm trying to make it to as many events as I can. I've done a couple videos now about trying to remanufacture some parts. Hang on one second. Yeah, you'll remember I started showing you this, which was the mock-up of a lens. It's made out of PLA. It's plastic. It's not transparent, but I needed the shape just to test it out. And I ordered a part that is transparent. It is clear. It's optically clear. And it's stuck somewhere in shipping. I don't know if it's related to the global weirdness that's going on right now, but it is just stuck in shipping, trying to import it from a international source, and it's just stuck. So I've got to pivot and do something different. If you got any friends in immigration, customs, and that kind of thing, please let me know. Actually, you don't, because I'm not that interested. Anyways, this is coming soon. I promise. I'm just hitting some roadblocks right now, as you would hit if you were trying to do this project. So this is real life happening right now. But this is going well. We got the information, we got the data. We turned the data into information, and now we're going to be successful in trying to make a similar shaped part just transparent. I want to eventually be able to do this at home on a home-based machine. So maybe that's my next purchase, but I'm currently poor. There's also another part that I designed specifically for the Bonanza and Baron group of folks. This part is also difficult to find, and it is also caught up in the same shipping situation as this part is. That other part I have not revealed on the channel. So sorry about that. The other cool thing is, I don't think I've talked about the Arrow just yet. The Arrow, of course, is gone. November 56086 is gone. And at a certain point, I did a whole video about how I was replacing a spark plug that I found bad on the pre-acceptance flight that I was going to do, the checkout flight that I was going to go do, to ensure that I was giving a quality product to the buyer. And I found a bad spark plug. Actually, I needed to go down to Hinesville to go find a spark plug, like this. Oh, hey. I didn't see you there. I just need to go find some spark plugs because I need one spark plug for the Arrow. Oh. Just a GI 275 hanging out in a box that looks like it's made for trash. Or I guess if he doesn't need this, I'll just take this with me. But I still do need spark plugs. And then I did a little funny video like this. You got questions? Of course, I got answers. Question number 1, am I nerdy enough to wear a fanny pack? Yes. Yes, I am. Question number 2, is there a hole in your jeans? Yes, I haven't bought new jeans in about 4 years. It's because I try to save money a little bit too much. And then the story just kind of fell apart because I got busy, but that airplane sold, and it is now flying happily down in Florida with its new owner, who is a person that watches these videos on the channel, and I know is going to take care of the airplane, keep it maintained, maybe upgrade it a little bit, have some fun with it, and then we'll see where the next person takes it and the next person takes it, because it's a solid platform. And I really hope that they fly safe and enjoy that airplane as much as I enjoyed that airplane. The other cool things, I guess, that are happening are I got a new camera, and I'm hoping to make more content for you, for us, because I'd like to look back on this stuff when I'm 70, 80 years old and unable to fly. And so that new camera, a new tripod, all kinds of new stuff, so that I can start telling more of these stories in a way that you are going to find interesting. Because I need you to click on the videos and watch the videos, share the videos, and engage with the videos, comment and like and subscribe, so we can grow this into the best general aviation channel on YouTube. We probably are already there, but I want to get way ahead of the competition. So we're going to go do more exciting content and deliver more value to you. I continue to be very tuned in, or very interested in what is going on around the general aviation space. And one of the pieces of news that has hit me recently was Sonex aircraft have decided to close their doors and file for bankruptcy and shut things down. And the reason that that's important, even though I don't fly a Sonex, or most of you have never flown a Sonex, it's because it's an aviation legend that is now closing in this, the most challenging time for general aviation. And it's telling a story that a lot of other people and places and corporations and companies and organizations are also going to be struggling to stay open to support us who are interested in small, old, and sometimes new airplanes. So the Sonex example was very surprising. I was really impressed by the size and design of the Sonex high wing when I saw it in Oshkosh last year. I'm pretty sure I could fit in that airplane. It's a small airplane, but it was designed for American-sized people or Caribbean-sized people like me. As you can see, I can see the top of that Bonanza, and that is a big airplane behind me. But I was really excited for Sonex. And so when I saw the news, it really started getting me thinking about all of the other support organizations that are required to keep these things going and how they are doing. Because many of you are waiting for that next best opportunity to buy something or to upgrade your airplane or to maybe buy an airplane for the first time. Last year was going to be the year. And then this year was going to be the year. And then next year was definitely going to be the year that you buy an airplane. But let me remind you, if you are, let's say, 30 years old right now, and you hope to retire your flying career, your private flying career by the time you're 80, you have 50 more summers, 50 summers left to make your dreams of airplane ownership come true and go to Oshkosh and take that trip across the country and go across the Atlantic Ocean. 50 summers. Time is ticking, that's all I've got to say. But these companies that are supporting us really need our help. They need us to show up, go see them at Oshkosh, go see them at Sun and Fun, ask them the difficult questions about certification and how they're fitting into the new Mosaic space and innovation. And why does this product that you sold 20 years ago look exactly like this product you're selling today, and it costs 200% more? I don't know. Ask the tough questions and get satisfying answers. But then when you do get that satisfying answer, I want you to hit that buy now button and support these companies that support us. The small movements, the mom and pop operations, the people that you see at breakfast fly-ins trying to sell their little aviation widget. Go and support those people. Support this channel just by watching this video and clicking like. Because we're trying to get the word out there so we can save general aviation and we could avoid things like what Sonex is going through, because we need them to show up. We need them to be there. If you just built a Sonex last year and it's a brand new airplane, it's not even a year old yet, you're already worried about support for that aircraft, aren't you? Because yeah, it's experimental and you can make your own parts, but do you have the information, the skill, the knowledge, the material specs to make all the parts for your kid airplane? If you just bought a Beechcraft Bonanza, congratulations, you're richer than I am. But the Bonanza is now going out of production. You're going to have parts problems and someone's going to come in and try to save you, but you have to show up ready to support them with your ideas, your advocacy, your flying, your safe flying to continue what we're doing here. So all of these things we will continue to explore right here on the open source GA channel. More projects like this, more flying, more instrument ratings, more talking to you to see what's important to you, more advocacy around what's happening with airports and airplanes and hangars and insurance and training and STCs and Mosaic, and the list will go on and on and on. I just wanted to give you something to hold on to in the short term while I build all of this stuff in the background so that the algorithm doesn't forget that this channel exists, because if you don't post often enough, it just drops off and I will never see you again. Oh, which reminds me, I'm probably going to start doing a newsletter, not because you need more things to read, but because I would like to be able to ping you whenever a video drops to remind you to go watch it and to get your feedback, specific feedback on those videos, either here in the comments or through a mail-in service, an email service, and take it from there. Let me see if there's anything else. I'm doing this off the cuff, by the way. I have no notes. Oh, the coolest thing happened to me the other day. I was just minding my own business and I got a comment on a video here on the channel, and it's from a guy named Gary, and he goes, "I was the original owner of November 8636 Mike. This airplane is sitting behind me, this V-tail Bonanza. I think we have found the original owner for this V-tail Bonanza. So one of my next videos, I'm probably going to call him up and get the story about how he bought this thing and how this airplane came to him and what he did with it. He flew it for 1,000 hours, apparently. You don't usually get to know who owned the airplane way before you, but in this case, I might actually have that opportunity. So I'm excited to see if we can connect those dots here on the channel. Okay, you know where to find me. Again, check your fuel and use odd things as microphones. It makes the video much more interesting. Be good to yourself. Reach out to anyone you know who's going through a hard time, because the world is a crazy place right now. And just tell them that you've got them. I've got friends who you would recognize if I said their name, who are going through things right now. Aviators going through really difficult times, medical times right now. And we need to lift those people up and check in on them and ensure that they're doing as best as they possibly could. Warm their hearts up, because you care about them, their flying future, and the future of general aviation. All right, we'll catch you later. Have a good one.